Hello friends, it's Kayla or Lala. Welcome to my final book haul of the year, my Christmassy book haul, and also the kickoff. I'm keeping that in. The kickoff to however many days of fa la 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 la. Now I know in past years it's been like 12 videos in 12 days. That was the whole fa la 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 miss of it all. I don't know. I don't have anything pre-planned or pre-filmed, to be completely honest. So I don't know how many days there are going to be. I feel like it's more like 7 to 10. But there is going to be a video a day for a good amount of days. So starting today with my book haul. I need to kick it off with this stack because I didn't buy these all super recently, but they've been featured in videos that I've already posted. And a lot of them, the majority of them are romance. So I'll get through them quickly. Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. It's about a woman from a big city and a guy from a small town, and she ends up in this small town and they both can't see themselves in the other person's life, but they're in love. It feels very weird to me to be hauling romance in this capacity, having already read it. So there's that. Then we've got Book Lovers, which is about a girl, a big city girl in a small town, but also the guy is a big city guy and he's in the small town too. They're kind of rivals. They work in the book industry. They don't get along, and then throughout a series of events and emails and witty banter, they fall in love. We've got Dating Dr. Dill by Nisha Sharma, which is about a doctor and a woman. And throughout the book, they're trying to decide if they want to have a fake relationship in order to get everything that they want out of their lives, including money for their respective goals, a house, a doctory practice. Then we've got The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata, which is about an assistant to a football player in the NFL, and they get into an interesting scheme together, but they start out the book not liking each other even though they've known each other for years. So it's like a hate to love kind of situation. I bought more romance in this, but I've decided I'm only keeping the romance that I give like 3 stars and above on my shelves, and the rest I will donate. So if you notice anything missing from the stack that you know I already read, I probably am ditching it very soon. It's in a pile by the door. We've got Sweet Hand by Ng Peltier, which takes place in Trinidad, and there's a wedding, and we have these two characters who are attending the wedding, and they have to go to all of these wedding events together, but they don't think they like each other until they have to spend time together. We've got A Dash of Salt and Pepper by Kosoko Jackson, which, guess what, is about 2 people who think they don't like each other until they're forced together. This one in a kitchen. He is working for him, and the restaurant is the location of their love story, but also some personal growth. Should I be giving better pitches for these? I have no idea. This one's Beach Read by Emily Henry, also about the bookish industry. We have 2 authors. They don't think they like each other, and then they have beach houses that are beside each other, and throughout a series of events and times they run into each other, they decide to take on each other's genre for the summer, face some personal challenges, and fall in love. Then we have The Romantic Agenda by Claire Kahn, which is about a woman who's in love with her best friend. Her best friend, she doesn't know if he reciprocates her feelings, but they're gonna go on this trip together with another man and another woman, and the 4 of them are gonna figure out all of their feelings throughout this getaway. Then we have Always Only You by Chloe Leese. This one is about a social media manager to like a hockey team. It's a slower burn romance, and they already know that they like each other at the beginning. Before we move on to another one about 2 people who don't like each other and then have to confront their feelings, I have a favorite trope. Have you figured it out yet? This is Honey and Spice by Bolu Babalola. I don't want to spoil anything if you haven't watched my romance series yet. Actually, no, I'll spoil it. This is my favorite romance I've ever read. Go buy it. This is about a woman in college who runs a podcast, and she kind of talks shit about some of the men on campus, and then one of those men is like, you painted me out to be this certain way, you're a hypocrite. Somehow they end up fake dating. Fantastic dynamic, fantastic banter. Then we have 7 Days in June by Tia Williams, which is a second chance romance where these 2 people were together way back in the day. They had like challenging circumstances within their relationship, so they don't know if they should interact again, but they're both authors and they've been kind of writing each other into their books over the years, and it's a good story. All right, that's stack number 1, romance that I've already read. Let's get into romance I haven't read. Just kidding. First at the top of my stack for some reason is oh, I forgot how to pronounce it. Galatea by Madeline Miller. This is a short story that I loved a lot about a man who makes a statue of a woman and she yearns for independence, let's say, because that's what the synopsis says. Now we can get into some familiar faces, because I also have this Emily Henry, People We Meet on Vacation, which I don't know if I know the plot. We have two characters who have been best friends for a long time, but 2 years ago, everything was ruined. They haven't spoken since, and now I guess they have a second chance at a relationship. What could possibly go wrong? Oh, I didn't haul The Boyfriend Project, but that is a book that I read and really enjoyed in the romance series, and this is a sequel to it. I need to buy the first book, but I'm also going to read the second book, because in the series we're introduced to 3 different women who become like best friends. I was trying to think, like, would these women consider themselves best friends? Am I putting that on them? They are a group of friends who were all wronged by the same man, and they built a connection because of that, and each book in the series follows a different person. So in this one we're following Taylor. Yes, Taylor. She's a personal trainer, and I guess this guy wants to get back in the NFL, and she's gonna be the one to train him and get him ready, but they're also gonna fall in love. Speaking of Chloe Leese, let's do this one, which Rob got me these next 3 for Christmas, which is so nice. This one's called Two Wrongs Make a Right. I didn't know if I wanted to read more in this series by her, because they're all about like the same family. I didn't know if I was interested enough to like read the rest of the series. I didn't realize she had a whole different book. So this is based on Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing, which I love a lot. We have Jamie and Bee, and they're very wrong for each other, but the people closest to them play Cupid and trick them into going on a date. How fun! Oh, but they're gonna like go really hard with their fake dating, which is kind of what happens in some of these other books, like obnoxiously fake dating, just to like trick their friends, prove them wrong, but then they're really gonna fall in love. How sweet. And then speaking of N.G. Peltier, I have the sequel to Sweet Hand. It's called Don't Go Baking My Heart. And this girl we met in that book, her name's Reba, and she gets involved with this man named Devin, and they're gonna participate in a baking competition together. I feel like it sounds so cute. I love just a sweet little happy romance. Then he got me this one, which is Love Light Farms, which I've seen so many people talk about. It's by B.K. Borison. I adore these covers so much, and I know that this girl has a Christmas tree farm, and she has to pretend she has a boyfriend because she thinks if she puts on her application for this competition to win money for the Christmas tree farm, that people will like her more if like she's in a relationship, and it's like, we own a Christmas tree farm together. And then the guy that she put down, I think it was her ex-boyfriend or best friend or somebody, and they have to fake date. We're still not done with romance because I also bought myself 4. Don't worry, if you're worried about my channel becoming a whole romance channel, it's not. I'm just in my romance era, and I'm gonna live here for a second. This one is my Besties book club pick. My channel members, we have a seasonal book club, and we're reading Kiss Her Once for Me by Alison Cochrane. Have I already hauled this? I don't know, I feel like I've shown it before. But we have, is it fake dating? Oh no, this one's a marriage of convenience, right? So she's gonna get with this guy, but she's really in love with his sister. But that's okay because it was a fake marriage between those two anyway, so they can be together and they can be happy. I think there's also an inheritance. All of my buzzwords are here. I picked up this one called In It to Win It by Sharon C. Cooper because it's a competition. These two people are fighting over like a piece of real estate. They both want it for different reasons, and they have to compete in like some kind of Iron Man competition in order to get the property. I don't understand why. Romance doesn't have to make sense. I just think it sounds so fun. And then I got The Key to My Heart by Leah Lois. I've heard people talk about 8 Perfect Hours before, and I just picked this one up instead. I don't know. We have a woman named Natalie who has like this perfect life, but then she loses her husband, and now a couple years later she's finally ready to get into a new relationship. I don't know, maybe it sounds more like personal development and growth, but I hope it's also sweet and precious or steamy, I don't know. Then I found this one. I think it's a Canadian author. It's called Reasonable Adults, Robin Leffler. I really like the cover. And this one is also about a woman just at a crossroads in life. She's freshly single, freshly fired, and she's gonna work at like this arts and craft camp for adults for the winter season. And there's a man there who she's not supposed to fall for, but she's gonna. Okay, we're done with romance. I think. Yeah, okay. Speaking of Bolu Babalola, I picked up her short story collection that I've been wanting to read. It's called Love and Color, and it's mythical tales from around the world. I love her writing. I love her short story collection. It says it's a vibrant collection of love stories. Oh, sorry. So it is romantic. I guess there's two people about to kiss on the cover. My bad. Stories retelling myths, folk tales, and histories from around the world. I'll read it and let you know what I think. Next up, I got another piece in another book. What was I trying to say? In the Veronica Speedwell series. I feel like this is book 6 or something, and I probably shouldn't be collecting the entire series until I've read like the second book, but I'm reading the second book soon, and I love the first book. We have this woman. This one's called A Murderous Relation, and she is like a butterfly catcher. No, that makes it sound different than it is. I'm just bumbling around because I don't know what this story is about, and I don't want to know because I feel like it would ruin other things. We've got Veronica, we've got a man named Stoker. At some point in the series, they're gonna kiss, and I'm gonna read the whole series until that happens, okay? Then I have Wrong Place, Wrong Time by Gillian McAllister, which I have already hauled, but I don't think in an official haul. And this is about like a woman whose son kills somebody, and she's given the opportunity to go back in time. And I think it repetitively happens until she gets it right. Like, I don't know, stops him or changes something that happened that led him to do that. I don't know. I'm sure there's much more to the story to learn and understand, and I've only heard good things about it, so I hope I get to read it soon. I also picked up one of my most anticipated reads of the year, which I'm literally going to read today, because I reread Daughter of the Moon Goddess yesterday, and this is Heart of the Sun Warrior. Su Lin Tan, it's the second book in this duology, and can I tell you anything about this? The Moon Goddess is this goddess who lives on the moon. She's been exiled, she did something bad, and now her daughter, who nobody knows if she has, she goes and disguises her identity and tries to win the favor of like this empire so she can get, you know, a wish of hers. And it's obviously to get her mom out of exile. But a lot of things happen along the way. That's a sequel. Don't know what happens in it yet. Then I got this one in the mail, which I pre-ordered, A Million to One by Adiba Jagadar. I was gonna read this as one of my last reads of the year. And then it occurred to me I could include this in a Third Time's a Charm series next year, reading who I think are gonna be my favorite authors. This is a Titanic story. We're following all of these women, and I don't really know what's going on with them, but they're on the Titanic. I think there's like theft going on. Maybe it's like an Ocean's 11 kind of scheme. I've never seen any of those movies. Ooh, there's a book encrusted with gems that's worth millions on board. Okay, now I know. They need to break into this vault, but then like survive because it's the Titanic. Of course, my battery died right when I was at the end. I have a couple books sent to me by publishers of upcoming releases. So first up is Don't Fear the Reaper by Stephen Graham Jones. My Heart is a Chainsaw. The first book in this series follows Jade, who's this woman, this indigenous woman who is obsessed with the idea of a slasher happening where she lives. It's very internal monologue. It's very obsessive thoughts. And she's trying to like solve some kind of crime along the way. And this is the sequel where we come back to Jade a couple years later, and now there might be a serial killer on the loose, and she's gonna take it upon herself to figure that out. And then lastly, I was not expecting this to show up. It's A House with Good Bones by T. Kingfisher, which I am so anticipating. I just love this author's writing style, and this is about a weird family home. We're following Samantha, who shows up to her mother's house. There's a big black vulture out front giving very ominous vibes, and her mom is just acting very weird and different, and something odd is going on in the house. It's a really, not her shortest novella, but it's only 240 pages, so I don't want to know too much going into it. I think it's just gonna have some like quirky family dynamics, but also this dread running through the pages. So that's everything that I got recently, Christmas, before Christmas, some months ago, but haven't hauled because keeping my romance series a secret. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, and I'll see you tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day and the next day until I run out of video ideas. So see you then.